Surprise face reveal. If you haven't seen my real face before, here you go. This is Garo the Dragon in the flesh. We need to talk about something important. We need to talk about the controversy, and we need to talk about the accusations that haters are attacking me with. Starting with the first one, where haters accuse me of having an audience that consists mostly of minors, even though there's no proof of this whatsoever. And in fact, I made a video about a year ago in my statement video where I showed that 6.7% of my audience was minors, meaning that 93.3% of my audience was not minors. And their response was they said, oh, well, they can lie, YouTube viewers can lie, your audience is lying, your audience is still mostly minors. If that's so, where is your proof showing them that they are in fact minors? Where is your proof showing how many of them lied or what percentage of them lied so that you're able to support this accusation of yours? I get it. Viewers can lie about their age, but I've still presented more objective data than any of you have combined. And then if you really want to scrape the bottom of the barrel, if you're really that desperate and you want to be like, oh, well, look at this YouTube comment or that Twitch comment or this Instagram comment that these people made on your posts, they clearly sound like children, so therefore your audience consists of mostly minors. I mean, if you're going to be cherry picking things and if you're going to be subjective, like it feels like it, you think it does, that is not evidence. You try to go up to scientists and you try to present biased data as like a statistician, you're going to be laughed out of the room. No one's going to take you seriously. That's not how science works. You need to present genuine, objective proof and data. And no haters presented a single shred of objective proof or data that proves that my audience is mostly minors. You have nothing. I have more data than you do. And my data says that they're not. Even though, yes, it can't reflect the amount of people that are lying, but I still have way more proof than the rest of you. And you have no proof showcasing that my audience is mostly minors or what quantity of my current audience is lying about their age. On to the next point. Yes, so there was this slander, this libel, this defamation that went around in addition to everything else, where people accused me of sending NSFW content to minors, even though, once again, there was no objective proof. The only proof that they had was a group of people who collectively agreed to create this lie, accusing me of sending NSFW contents to minors in their Discord server, even though, once again, they had no actual objective proof of it. And in fact, if this had genuinely happened, it would have been so easy for them to report me to Discord and immediately get me completely banned from the platform, easily costing me my partnership as well. Yet this never happened. I never got banned. I never lost my partnership. Everything was perfectly intact. But even though these people could not fool Discord, an objective platform with people who actually have jobs where they have to objectively review this stuff and look at the logic, you couldn't fool Discord. They were able to fool the people. They were able to manipulate the online people and turn them against me with this. And then I got so many hate DMs, so many attacks and harassments and hate messages. People saying, oh, you pedo, how could you send this NSFW content to minors? You belong in prison, all this stuff. Because I mean, it's a criminal accusation. It's a terrible thing. It's like, even with no proof, people ate it up and believed it. They didn't even question it. Till several months later, when I had been assaulted by this lie repeatedly, and in addition to all the doxing, DDoSing, harassment, hate, toxicity that happened towards me, my team members, my moderators, my viewers, supporters, like this just added to it even more. And finally, the drama YouTuber that was really pushing this around a lot, he got called out for a bunch of things, and this was one of them. And he apologized in a tweet for defaming me. And if I'm not mistaken, he made a video that he later took down where he specifically mentioned that he believed this lie, he was dumb, that he listened to these people, and he made a mistake pushing around this lie that was in fact false. But even after that happened, what happened as a result? Did cancel culture, did they like apologize to me? Did they feel bad for pushing a criminal accusation against me that caused a lot of hatred and judgment and harassment towards me and community members? No. They swept it under the rug. They acted like it never happened. Like, oh, no. Like, we aren't, like we don't make mistakes. Like, we're just going to pretend that never happened. And you know what? We're just going to attack Garo for other things instead that haven't been disputed yet. Moving on. Right. This was a really dumb one. So people accused me of botting subs. And their supposed proof was going onto Social Blade, which is like a social media tracking website, and going to my YouTube and showing, hey, look, he got plus 100 subs this day and then nothing the next day and then plus 100 and then nothing. Why is he always gaining subs in increments of 100? He must be botting subs. If you actually bothered to do your research, you would see that Social Blade very clearly made a post where they said that ever since a particular YouTube update that happened a few years ago, where YouTube basically doesn't show the exact subscriber count publicly to other people, Social Blade can only see what YouTube is showing on a person's page. If you go to my page, you see I have 44 point something K or 44.4K, 44.5K, whatever. You get the idea. It goes one number after the decimal point. They don't show the two numbers beyond that. That was an update they had a few years ago where they did this. That's all, just like that's all you and I can see, that's all Social Blade can see too. And that's why they can only see when it goes from 0.4 to 0.5 or 0.5 to 0.6 or 0.6 to 0.5. They can only see the plus 100 or minus 100. They made a post where they specifically stated this. Try this out with other YouTubers on my side. Look them up and you'll see the same exact phenomenon. Or maybe if they got more than 200 subs a day, you might see plus 200, plus 300. But it's not like the zeros after that are not going to have numbers in them if it's a YouTuber between the size of 10,000 subs and 99,999. Beyond 100,000, I believe it's in increments of 1,000. I don't know what it would be below 10,000. Is it like... I don't remember exactly how that works. Maybe they don't show the last decimal place, so maybe it could be between plus 10 and plus 100. You get the idea anyway. This is how Social Blade works. This is not proof of botting whatsoever. And if you do your research, you can clearly see this for yourself. Right, the next accusation where haters accuse me of being abusive to viewers. They cherry-picked very specific conversations, probably like 0.1%, if not even less, of all the conversations I've had, completely misinterpret them, and then formulate some kind of conclusion and judgment and narrative about me without really having any genuine evidence of it. So let's start with the first one. Let's talk about regular status. Before I explain this, we need to talk about what regular status is. So regular status is an opt-in system. We need to be very clear about this. It was and always is an opt-in system where users, they basically ask to opt in to regular status tracking to try to get regular status if they come to my Twitch streams enough. Basically, I stream 21 hours a week. If they're there for at least 15 out of those 21 hours a week, they get regular status. So what does regular status do? It basically gives them the ability to play with many games with me for free, whether it be Minecraft, Terraria, or in the past like Among Us, Jackbox, VR Chat, when we played those games more. So let's just get one lie out of the way very quickly. People who say that, oh, he'll only play with you if you pay him money. That's a lie. Regular status is completely free. Anybody can opt in as long as they follow the rules. And bam, they can play with me very, very easily. You can literally achieve it in a week. So with that being explained, some haters will scrape the bottom of the barrel, find like a couple conversations here and there where I lost my temper a little bit with specific individuals. And they'll cite it as, oh, Garo got angry at this guy because he didn't watch his stream enough. And like he's shaming this person because he didn't watch his stream enough. They didn't come to his stream enough. He should be appreciative of his viewers and their viewership. It shouldn't be a matter of like, oh, if you don't come to his stream enough, he gets mad at you. Nothing could be further from the truth, dude. I literally do not care. Like, I mean, sure, of course I want to grow. I want people to be there, but I mean, come and go as you please. Like, it's up to you. But like, if you don't come enough, of course, you won't get regular status. But there was another factor in the past that's not so much here now. And that's the fact that the system was kind of new. And I had to handle a lot of this calculation manually. Every single Friday, I had to go through with the commands, get each person's watch time individually. And I had to compare that to the previous weeks, crunch the numbers in an Excel spreadsheet, and then message these people individually to let them know if they got it or not and give them the role and the rewards. It was a very, very tedious process that took several hours every single Friday. Thankfully now, it's so much better. The process is much more automated, and I had to because there were so many people opting in. So I really had to automate the process. Thankfully it is. Like there could be 1,000 people in it, and it could be done so fast. But anyways, back to the point. So what happened with these specific individuals? There's the one who was like, oh, you know, I came to your stream, so like, do I get regular status? And I got a little bit upset, but I basically just pointed out, like, you were here this day for this hours, this day for this hours, this day for that hours. No, you don't get regular status. My tone was maybe not the most healthy in that conversation. That was simply because I was a bit upset because this guy was basically trying to lie his way to regular status. He was trying to act like he had earned it when in fact he hadn't. And in fact, he wasn't even close. And I was really irritated by that because it takes me a lot of time to do it. And I just don't really appreciate the lie. I wasn't upset at him because he didn't come to the streams enough. I was upset at him because he was trying to lie his way into regular status, even though he had in fact not earned it. For some other conversations, there was one, trying to remember. Right, there was one where I said, like, you got to do better. That was wrong. That was not worded correctly. The tone was not correct, and I do apologize for that. And I've already apologized for, like, how I was rude and disrespectful in the statement video almost a year ago. So don't even bring it like me, like, oh, finally apologize. I apologized almost a year ago. But anyways, to add to this, I was just a little bit upset because, like I said, the process going through regular status is very tedious. So when someone opts into regular status and they barely show up at all, it's upsetting to me. Yes, because it takes a lot of my time to crunch all those numbers. Not anymore, thankfully. Now it's fully automated. It takes like no time at all. But back then it did. It took a lot of time. It was very tedious. I did not look forward to Fridays. It would take me hours to go through all the names. It wasn't as bad initially when there weren't as many, but as the list got longer, it started getting really rough. So, yeah, I mean, naturally, I was just not in the best mood when I spoke to people who just didn't seem to care. They opted in, but they didn't try for it at all. It's like, well, why are you even opting in for regular status if you're not even going to actually, like, try to do it? You're just wasting my time. But like I said, that doesn't justify what I said, and I do apologize, as I did in the statement video about a year ago. But at the end of the day, I want you to recognize that it has nothing to do with shaming my viewers for not coming to my streams enough. It's just frustration with people who are either lying to me or just don't care, in the sense that, like, they're just kind of wasting my time. They're opting in for something that takes me time to go through the regular status process to crunch the numbers, and they're just, like, not even trying. So don't opt in then. Like, if you're not going to do it, don't opt in. But again, that's not a concern anymore. Like I said, it's all automated. It wouldn't matter if 1,000 or maybe even 10,000 people opted in. It wouldn't take any additional time. I mean, I don't know, maybe an extra minute or two. Like, it wouldn't take that much. You've got a very solid system on that now. Next. Right, the birthday thing. This one is adorable. So they'll take one specific person. Man, you scraped hard, searched years back, and you could only find one because that's all you're going to find. Because in reality, I have a birthday list, and not just had, even before the drama, a birthday list of so many names of people who were, like, regulars, though this was even before the regular system came out. So just kind of people who came around a lot, people whose names would turn up a lot. And literally, like, I had their birthdays written down, and it's, like, literally on the same document that my to-do list is in. So every day when I check my to-do list, I see those names and I see their birthdays, and I would see, oh, this guy's birthday's coming up, and I can't wait to, like, wish them happy birthday, or even give them a free nitro. I surprised so many people, and even sometimes I sang their birthday, happy birthday, on stream, and it would just absolutely blow their minds. They'd be so happy, they'd smile. But it's hilarious that, like, you could just single out, and this is, again, about being subjective and biased samples. All you have to do is find one person who there was an unfavorable birthday interaction, and then you think you've got me all figured out. You're like, oh, he only cares about himself. He's selfish. He doesn't let people talk about their birthdays because he's so self-centered and narcissistic. You have no idea who I am. You talk like you know me. You try to create these narratives and these lies, but you have no idea who I am. I've celebrated more birthdays than probably all these haters, these hateful creators have combined. I celebrate tons of fewer birthdays. I have a whole list. But anyways, so what happened with this guy then? Why was there a situation with this guy? This was pretty far back. I don't remember 100%, but I do remember that he was very inactive in the server. He was not supportive. But then he just kind of came out of nowhere in the middle of our conversation, just announced his birthday, as if he wanted something from it. Like, you're barely around. You're just going to come in and announce your birthday, and then you want us to give you, like, a gifted sub like that? But it's all gray area. We don't know exactly what's going on. It was just very awkwardly placed. It just did not seem right. So I reached out to him, and at the end of the day, I was going to talk about what was objective, which was the rule. So I mentioned, yeah, keep the focus on me. It's not because, oh, like, I'm narcissistic, I have to have all the attention on me. It's just like, dude, like, if you're going to come around and you're just going to announce your birthday, you're not even active here, you don't do anything here, but you just want to announce your birthday and then get something out of it. Like, that's just not very considerate. That's very selfish. Like, don't do that. That's the real reason. But if I'd said that, he would just be like, oh, I wasn't doing that. But if I say, like, keep the focus, he can't say he wasn't doing that. That was objectively, clearly what he was not doing. I like to keep things black and white and blunt and clear so that people can't say, oh, but that wasn't the rules. Oh, but that wasn't clear. No, it was, like, very, very clear. But at the end of the day, I've celebrated so many birthdays and still continue to do so. The only thing you could really show is that that conversation was worded poorly, which it was, and I apologize for that. I still did not say that the way it should have been said. I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just explaining it and showing that the interpretation that you're forming from it is completely false. And as I said, I already apologized for these things almost a year ago in the statement video. What's next? Right. So, I mean, the bottom line with a lot of this is just, I do have one problem in the sense that I do have a bit of a temper, yes. But I am extremely good at controlling it, like 99.9% of the time. But yes, I do slip up. And sure, if you're going to desperately scrape across years and try so hard to find the 0.1% to try to use it against me, sure, you can make anyone look like a monster. You can go after anyone on the internet and make them look like a horrible person if you try so hard to find little individual conversations that you can try to use against them. It's not hard. It's actually quite easy, disgustingly easy, terrifyingly easy, actually. It's really sad. And there are people out there who exploit this. To the Telegram DM. So this is one where I got really angry, yes. And there's a very specific reason for this. People will look at this conversation and think, oh, like this guy just flipped out. Garo got angry because this guy made friends with one of his moderators. No. In fact, it was because of what happened here that rule number 2 came to be about the no DMs friend request. Prior to this, there was nothing wrong with that. And I mean, I was aware that there were DMs, that there was friend requests, and there was nothing wrong with this. This was perfectly allowed at the time. But because of this interaction, that's why rule number 2 was created. Why? What went wrong in this situation that made me realize that in order to prevent this bad thing from happening again, I had to add rule number 2 to prevent the DMs and friend requests? There's a very critical component of the conversation that the internet is overlooking, that haters are conveniently skipping past, the part where he pulled my moderator to his own server. I was very angry because my moderator, who is someone I really trust, was convinced to break rule number 1. Rule number 1 at the time was basically like the no advertising, no pulling to stream, server, etc. But basically, you don't try to pull people from my server, to your stream, anything like that. Sort of self-promo, but not just, oh, don't try to pull people there. And that's exactly what this person did. This person violated rule number 1, but he didn't just do it with some random member of the server. He didn't just try to take advantage of someone newer who maybe wasn't familiar. He went after my moderators, and he pulled one of them to his own server, violating rule number 1. I didn't find out through him. Found out through the moderator. And I was furious that behind my back, he used this to pull my moderator to a server to break rule number 1. And I was extra furious because he had gotten so cuddly, so close and attached to this moderator in DMs that now this moderator was trying to rationalize with me and rationalize with this decision of it being okay for them to violate rule number 1. That's why I was very angry. Because he went after the most influential people on my server, the people I trusted the most, and he made them okay with breaking the server rules. The people who were supposed to enforce them, suddenly he made one of them okay with breaking it. You know, if this moderator had a conversation with me prior to this, wanted to talk about the rule, fine. Or maybe if he wanted to talk to me about the rule before breaking it, and be like, you know, like, let's discuss this, fine. But no, he broke it. And then after it's broken, then he wants to defend this person that convinced him to break it, and then rationalize with me that this rule, like, basically it shouldn't exist. That should be okay for that person to do this. You think I'm going to be really happy when this happens? And again, I'm not justifying it. It's still not good that I got angry, and I apologize for that, as I did about a year ago. But what happened was still very disgusting. Very horrendously disgusting. And you can imagine why, as a result of that, I felt the need to tighten my rules. Because I was like, okay, apparently it wasn't enough to prevent people from gaining influence and control over my viewers through the server, because we had bad situations in the past where some people tried to exploit that. I thought, okay, maybe I can just allow DMs friend requests and that should be fine. Hopefully no problem should come out of that. No. This person showed me apparently my rules weren't strict enough. I don't like having strict rules, dude. I just want to make content, okay? I just want to make videos. I want to make streams. I want to make people laugh. I want to make people smile and make their day. I don't like having to watch my back all the time. But unfortunately, there are some really nasty people out there that exploit vulnerabilities, that'll walk all over me and take advantage of any loopholes that they can find within the rules. So I have to patch them. I have no choice. The world is so dark and corrupt and disgusting that I have no choice but to be strict, whether I like it or not. I have to do it for my own protection. Otherwise, my viewers can be manipulated against me. Even my own moderators. I don't think this is an issue for non-furries, so they probably won't understand this. But for furries, it's like all they got to do is get cuddly with them in DMs, and that fools so many people. That attachment, that cuddliness, it just Some of them just melt like putty and they'll do whatever these manipulators ask. And you call me the manipulator. That's funny. That's really funny that you call me the manipulator. If I was so manipulative, why are my rules so insanely blunt? Like, they could not have been more clear. Do those rules really sound like something a manipulator would have written? Or do they sound like someone angry who's really upset about something bad that just happened and wants to stop it from happening again? And is even maybe going like above and beyond to really prevent it from happening again? No kind of manipulator who's even remotely manipulative is going to write the rules the way I wrote them, because that's just stupid. So then why did I write the rules the way I wrote them? Other than the fact, of course, I just want to protect myself, prevent drama, prevent my viewers from being manipulated against me, from being turned against me like that. Simple. Because the kinds of people, like I really, it's a filter. Like, that's the bottom line. I wanted people to come into the server, which, by the way, they couldn't get deeper into the server unless they read the rules. Everybody was forced to read the rules before they got in. I wanted people to come into the server, immediately see the rules, and be like, holy crap. Like, the ones who don't want to be there, who don't like it, out. Now, am I saying that 100% of the people who left the server because of the blunt rules in their face were bad? No. But I will tell you that ever since those rules got tighter, we started having a lot less problems. Now, did it make it harder for me to grow? Sure. I'm well aware that filter, like that aggressive filter, like it makes it harder for me to grow, but it also significantly reduced the amount of problems we had. Significantly. Things got so much better, so much more peaceful. We had so many fewer issues, and things have even been improved on since then as a result of this cancellation. Like, they will keep getting better. I always learn, I always improve. It always evolves. And they've been worded better. They don't sound angry anymore. And the explanation is included in rule number 1, rule number 2, so I don't have to repeat myself all the time. It's pretty clear why these rules exist now, and this video just adds to the explanation. But it has nothing to do with narcissism. It has nothing to do with, oh, keep all the focus and attention on me. It's about protection. I just don't want someone gaining too much influence, whether collectively in the server or like in DMs with other people. I'm just sick of manipulators, people who try to come in and exploit me and steal from me. I'm sick of them trying to manipulate my viewers against me. These rules are basically put in place to prevent that. And I mean, ironically and logically, they also helped a lot during the cancellation. Even when so many people collectively were trying to manipulate my viewers against me, harassing them in DMs, going after them again and again and again to try to turn them against me, and even some getting so frustrated that they even tried to threaten them. The overwhelming majority of my core community stayed with me because they know me. They know I'm not a narcissist. They know I care for them. They know I'm there for them every single day. They know they can DM me whenever they want. They know they can vent to me, and I'm literally always there for them. Like, even I have like no life outside my content. Like, I literally Twitch stream every day. And then outside that, I spend more than double that time in the Discord stream every single day, if not more than triple. Like, I'm in the Discord stream a lot, and that's significant because I don't make any money from that. And Discord is like a very chill environment where people can just like chat. And now, like, I do a bunch of Minecraft stuff. I own 5 Minecraft servers, and 2 of them are like mostly for like the community. Some of them are a bit more for videos or specific events and stuff. But anyways, anytime there's something wrong on the server, or if they have a suggestion, or if there's a bug, or if they need help with something, I'm literally right there and I can assist them at any time. Like, if they need help with the game, if they need help IRL, if they need something, they can always reach out, contrary to popular belief. And I know what you're thinking. We'll get to the Patreon stuff in a moment. But the fact of the matter is, these rules exist for protection. They prevent drama, and they prevent others from manipulating my viewers. That's it. That's it. I want a manipulator to come into my server, see these rules, and walk out immediately. Like, that's the bottom line. I scare them away. Now, not all of them, especially now. Some of them will go through the trouble to infiltrate, but we'll figure them out. We always do. It's only a matter of time. My mods are very good, and I love them to bits. They've been incredible. I can't thank them enough for their hard work and support. But that's the bottom line. We just prevent drama. We prevent manipulation. It has nothing to do with narcissism. I wish I didn't have to have such strict rules. I wish I could just make content and just entertain people and not have to watch my back and just everything be okay. I wish I could just be loose, super loose, but I can't, because I used to be, and I got burned multiple times. Every time I got burned, I tightened things more, but it wasn't enough. I always had to tighten more. But hey, you know what? That's life. Life's not exactly fair. We learn, we improve. Moving on. Right, we'll talk about the Patreon, but just one more thing I want to say about what was before. At the end of the day, I want to reemphasize, you have absolutely no proof whatsoever of me being narcissistic. 0. The only thing you can prove is that I'm strict. In fact, if I was narcissistic, why do I spend so many streams playing with my viewers community games so much? Why do I have a regular status system where people can play with me for free? Why? I play with my viewers for free and I play with them a lot. And I actively manage 5 Minecraft servers, 2 of which are primarily focused on the community playing on them, and I'm always available for them to reach out for help. Why would I do any of these things? Why would I stream so much on Discord and be constantly available for people if supposedly I'm a narcissist, where everything's got to be about me? If it's got to be about me, why would I give an environment where people could play with me and receive more recognition? Why would I do that? Or get them to express themselves more? Nothing could be further from the truth. Now, do I recognize that due to the strictness, like it makes things harder? Yes. And I mean, I've worked around that so much. That was part of the reason why, that was part of the reason why Discord streams even became a thing. So that I could literally be there. Like, I understand, with the Discord rules, it makes things a bit more difficult. But that's why, I'm constantly there hanging out with people, helping them have a good time. I sacrifice a lot of myself so that I can maintain these rules for the protection of the community and for my own protection, for my job and everything. And I compensate for that by just being there more for everyone, caring for everyone more and being there for them because I care. Would a narcissist really be so self-sacrificial? The narrative that people push around is I have people trapped here and they're socially starved, but I'll only talk to them if they give me money. There's so many issues with this, but we'll break this down point by point. But I just want to say the narcissism thing makes literally 0 sense, considering so much of my content and time is dedicated to my community, which is also part of the reason why you can't convince them I'm a narcissist. My core community, those who are there regularly, they know you're full of crap. They know it's a lie. You can't fool them no matter how hard you try. Next. Yeah, the Patreon. So people call my Patreon a scam. They call me greedy. They say I'm charging for interaction or for affection or something and blah, blah, blah. So let's go through this one by one, right? So tier by tier. Let's be very clear about one thing first, because I've seen this and it's really stupid. Some people have conveniently just screenshotted the bottom 2 tiers, the 250 and 500, and they just act like these are the only 2 and then completely ignore the top 3. I've had people that have come to me and they'd be like, oh, you lowered your Patreon prices. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? I didn't do that. Yeah, you used to only have 250 and 500, but now I see 5, 25, and 100. Man, people are just really desperate to do anything they can to add to as much hatred as possible, huh? No. There were always the 5, 25, and 100 tiers. They were always there. There was never only the highest 2 tiers. So let's make that very clear. Next, the $5 tier, the reward used to say tipping. And then I got some... I don't know how to nicely say this, but some people who were like, oh my gosh, you have to be at least a $5 patron for Garo just so you can have the privilege of tipping him. Who does he think he is? No, you derp. Be nice. You derp. The tipping meant it was literally just that's what the tier is. You're tipping me. The $5, you're tipping me. You're not pledging $5 for the privilege of tipping me. You're tipping me. That's all it is. But, just to help, I changed it from tipping to thanks for tipping. And then I didn't seem to hear this complaint anymore, so I think that helped. I'm glad I could clarify it for you. I'm happy it helped. Now for the 25 tier, which used to be called butt tier, it's now called cookie tier. I don't think I've really heard that many complaints with this. This tier is stacked with rewards. I mean, it has all the regular stuff, but on top of that, it has the early access to YouTube videos, the ad-free viewership to YouTube. Oh yeah, some people were like, "Oh, how do you give users the ability to watch YouTube videos ad-free?" It's not. Nobody can give the power to watch every video on YouTube ad-free. I mean, I guess maybe ad blocker or something, but no, it was to watch my videos ad-free. They show up on the Patreon page. They have no ads. It's a separate upload. They can watch it, and they don't have to worry about ads. That's all it is. And they get early access. They get crediting in the video. Some other stuff I can't remember at the moment. But yeah, that's the cookie tier patron. Then the love tier. I think this is where people started really getting angry collectively. So that's where we added where patrons could join me during announcements. They got a lot of recognition during the stream. I was a partnered Twitch streamer, of course, still am. And at the start of every single stream, every single day, I would do announcements. So basically, love tier patrons could be there with me during that time. They would get a lot of recognition, basically privileges in that regard. And then they would also get hugs. And then people flipped out about this. They're like, who does he think he is? You have to pay $100 to get a hug. What the heck? Hugs should be free. Affection should be free. You should hug your friends. Blah, blah, blah. Love this, love that. Listen, if you had actually bothered to do your research, you would see that actually every single Saturday when I streamed VR chat, which by the way was with cookie tier higher patrons, or at the time, but tier higher patrons, yes, but also with regulars who don't pay me any money, I would hug every single one of them at the end of these VR chat streams. So actually I've hugged a lot of people without them having to spend a penny, because I just love giving hugs. I'm a very affectionate, loving person. But it was like, while they're there, I want to give affection to all of them, and I want to give them a little bit of one-on-one attention in front of the stream and give them that recognition, because these are very high tier supporters of mine, and I want to show them that I appreciate them. VR chat was such a big part of my content at the time, and I started every single stream with it. I don't really do that anymore. That I was like, you know, these are my patrons, and I love them to bits, and I'm going to give them this affection and recognition on stream. And not only that, we're also going to take selfies together, which people also flipped out about. It's like, oh, $100 selfies, $100 selfies. Again, $100 is for all the rewards, not just that. But I mean, I hope I don't have to say that. That should be obvious. But anyways, yeah, we would take pictures together in the VR chat in a world of their choice, pose of their choice. And I would get that picture. I would give it to an editor, and I would pay to have that picture improved. And then that picture would be posted to social media for even more recognition. Like, they got a lot of recognition and love from me for being Love Tier patron. And then there's other stuff like the Beat Saber song request, and then like the higher priority for like all the games. Like, say if we did Among Us where there's 15 slots, if that fills, I mean, Love Tier get like top priority, then everyone after that. You get the idea for like all the games. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, nobody has to become a patron. Literally nobody has to become a patron. It's there as an offer that people can choose whether they want or not. So why are you attacking me for having these tiers exist? If people want to buy them, they can buy them. If they don't want to buy them, they don't have to buy them. No one has to buy any of these. It's completely optional. And I'm more than happy to hug people or take pictures with people for free, but I'm not going to do it with like the 7,000 people in my Discord server. I can't do it with everyone all the time. I don't have time for that. We have to be realistic. But people want these things. There are people who I've gotten rid of these rewards since. And no, it wasn't because of cancel culture. If anything, I kept this thing going for much longer than it probably otherwise would have. Because at the end of the day, it was just a decision like, okay, what do my viewers want? What do they not want? What's working with my content now? What's not working? And things change a lot, and they will still continue to change. My Patreon, my content, everything evolves over time. So if anything, the cancellation, actually, I probably kept it up longer than otherwise would have, because I had my hands full, like dealing with all the hate and toxicity, both towards me and my viewers. But at the end of the day, like, Patreon is a support platform. Like, it's a platform designed for supporting creators. That's what it's for. These rewards are just extra on it. You can literally create patron tier for like $1 million that provides no reward, and that's perfectly valid. That doesn't, when I price a thing like, oh, you're guaranteed this selfie or this hug or this slot in my server, that doesn't mean, oh, I only give it to those people. I literally just told you, regulars are able to play on those games or VR chat, Minecraft, Terraria with me without having to spend a penny. The key word that a lot of people are forgetting is guaranteed. These people are guaranteed these rewards, but at the end of the day, nobody becomes a patron who's like, oh man, I really want to get this right now. I mean, well, maybe like the cookie tier stuff or whatnot, but I mean, like, at the end of the day, they want to support. And, you know, they probably like these rewards and they want to get them too, because Patreon is a creator support platform. That is what it's for. And at the end of the day, you have no right to tell me how I should price these things or how I should do these things. But anyways, moving to the bottom one, we have the 250 and the 500 tier, right? The 250 was the guaranteed DM, and the 500, or the guaranteed DM, the call. The 500 was the 2 guaranteed DMs, the call, and the VR chat session, if I remember correctly. And again, I really want to point out the keyword guaranteed, because people flipped out. I was like, oh, because this is the huge mistake that you have no proof for, by the way, that the internet made, where they said, you have to pay him $250 to DM him. You have to pay him $500 to DM him. And by the way, just to further add to the fact this is a complete huge lie, you literally can't fool my community with this, because they're like, no. They've DM'd me several times, and many of them have done it without sending me a penny. Like, it's known they can literally DM me to vent to me if they have something on their mind, and I will be there for them. Or like if they need help with something or advice, etc. Like, I'm literally there. So then it's like, okay, well then, Garo, why do you have these tiers? Keyword, guaranteed. If someone wants to talk to me about maybe like small talk or have like a longer conversation about various things, that's a bit harder for me. I'm extremely busy. And like I said, I stream on Discord every single day for free to my community collectively. And you can't monetize Discord streams. There's no monetization there. I'm literally streaming to them every single day and hanging out with them and having a good time. And I'm literally there on standby if they need help with anything, or if they want to chat or hang out, talk about their day, or talk about how something in a game is going that they were playing, or something IRL, whatever, work. I'm literally there constantly hanging out with my community, and they love me and I love them. And that's part of the reason why they support me so much, because I'm there for them. They know I care, not because I talk it, but because I do it in my actions. I prove it. And that's one of the reasons they want to support me. But anyways, back to the DM thing. The guarantee thing is like, now if someone pledges that tier, they have a lot more freedom in terms of what they want to talk about. Like if they want to talk about something that I normally wouldn't be able to make time for, it's like, okay, all right, sure, we can talk about that. That's really all it is. If you look through the patron tiers, they start from more general, like just giving general rewards sort of thing, and it kind of narrows down to more one-on-one. Even love tier is a lot. It's like a smaller group, like the love tier patrons with me and announcements on VR chat. And then you get to the bottom two tiers. I mean, this is like just straight up one-on-one. Like literally, I am going to leave the Discord stream with like, I'm talking to like 10, 20 people hanging out and being able to cheer all these people up all at once just to chat with you specifically. Because some people ask me, they're like, Garo, you're busy all the time. I wish we could chat more. And I'm like, sorry, I'm busy. But like people asked enough, and it's like, okay, look, I mean, for me to have to leave all of those people just to talk to like you as a specific individual, like there has to be a very strong filter for this. It's going to be a lot, especially if you want me to call and like VR chat session like that. That's not going to be easy for me to do. This has to be something that I don't want people pledging for frequently. I want this to be very hard to pledge for because I cannot do this much. In fact, that's only gotten worse. Now those are gone, not because of cancel culture. You can't say that because they stayed there for a very long time. They probably would have gone down sooner if not for you. No, they stay there because I literally just do not have time for it. I do not have time for any of those things anymore. I cannot do it. So I literally had to get rid of those rewards because I literally could not keep doing them. In fact, there was only one person, who ever pledged to that level, to the 250 level, in fact. And I actually wanted to get rid of it a month earlier. And he basically asked me, he begged me to like keep it. He really loved it because he really valued that time we spent together because I helped him a lot. And to this day, he tells me he misses it. But I eventually had to tell him like, I'm so sorry, but I just can't. I'm so busy. I cannot do it. It's really hard for me. And I had to get rid of the tier. And he was really sad about that, but he understood. He understood that there wasn't really anything I could do. And now he's love tier. He keeps supporting because, I'm still happy to hear him out and help him out. It's just, I can't really make as much of this private one-on-one time as possible. Now, if you want to argue about the specifics, like, 20 minutes isn't enough, or 2 guaranteed DMs or 1 guaranteed DM is not enough, you should have given more. How are you going to get a conversation out of that? You're interpreting this completely wrong. Whenever I added this was the first iteration of this reward, and it was brand new. It was something that I could scale up over time. I just wanted to try it and see how it worked. Because at the end of the day, I gave way more than just 1 or 2. There were way more messages about these like things I wouldn't normally talk about than just 1 or 2. But I wanted to only guarantee 1 or 2 because number one, it depended how long these were. If they gave me like a paragraph and I had to respond with a paragraph, I didn't want to have to respond to multiple paragraphs in a day. But if it was like shorter, then I would give them way more responses. It just gave me that freedom, that black and white freedom, because whatever I write in that Patreon thing, I have to deliver it. Like it is by the book, I deliver it. So if I wrote like, 10, and then they deliver like 10 paragraphs and I got to respond with paragraphs, it's like, well, then this month is going to suck. You know what I mean? So I was prepared to scale it up over time. It was an experimental reward. It was new. But then the cancellation hit and I had my hands full with so many things. Those things sat there like unchanged for like half a year or something. So, I mean, you completely misinterpreted it. Because I'll have people say like, it's not your rewards are bad, because people can pledge whether they want to or not. It's what they just say about you as a person, that you think like that people have to pay $250 to DM you or $500 to DM you, or that people have to pay $100 to get hugged with you or a selfie. You're missing a very key word, guaranteed. And again, you don't know me. If you had bothered to do your research, you would see that I do many of these things with people who have never paid me a penny. I've DM'd so many people. And I've given hugs to so many people. And even selfies, pictures with many people. But people, like, what is it? Is it envy? Or is it just... I mean, maybe some of it is just, how do I word this? Just misinterpretation. But I do feel like with how hateful some people have been about it, just seemed very deliberate. Like, please be very careful how you read and interpret things, and be careful how you judge me, because if you're actually staying objectively minded while you're listening to me talk right now, you're going to realize that you don't really actually hate me. You hate the image of me that was put in your mind. You don't know me. Those creators don't know me. My community knows me. And that's why the overwhelming majority of my core community is here. Because they know I'm nothing like the person that you make me out to be. That I'm actually probably one of the nicest and most caring and loving creators in existence. Quite the opposite from what people accuse me to be. Now, next, right. So people, I need to mention this as well, because there was that period of time on Twitter where a lot of people were harassing me in Twitter DMs. Some would say very cruel things, some were just straight up spamming me, and many of them got blocked. And then what was their defense? They're like, oh, I got blocked because I didn't pay Garo $250. No, you got blocked because you harassed, because you were toxic, because you were spamming. Pay me money and I'll still block you if you're going to behave like that. That's just unacceptable. So it's really just sick and disgusting that people would use that as an excuse, when number one, it's not true, and number two, that's just not even justification to be toxic or harassing or cruel or mean to someone, especially someone who doesn't even deserve it. Don't be like that. And then, right, the greedy argument. So people will say, oh, well, you're greedy. And this kind of, I've already talked about the patron side of this, but let's just address the whole greedy thing in general. So a lot of bad things have happened to me during this drama. You know, DDoSing, harassment, toxicity, hate, threats, and just very, very hateful, negative things that have happened. And one of the things that happened is I was doxxed. So, I mean, there are people out there that know my background. You know who I am. And if you do, you'll see that I have a master's degree in finance. And so you know the people who have really gone out of their way to dig, you know my background, you know my educational background. So you know that if I wanted to make money, if this was all about money for me, I would have never even become a streamer in the first place. I would have just gotten a job in finance, stuck with that. I would have made way more money and worked way less for it. It would have been so much easier. So then why did I become a streamer? Simple. I'm passionate about it. This is what I love to do. I love the furry community. I love making people smile and being there for them, caring for them, because furries were there for me. I don't want to go on too long about this, but the bottom line is, I mean, for the longest time in my life, I just felt like an anomaly. I felt like no one understood me. I felt so different from other people, and I kind of kept to myself. I was very introverted, and it was like that for many, many years. And then eventually I discovered the fandom through a game, and it was crazy. It was is euphoric the word I'm looking for? You know what? Maybe I shouldn't say that. I don't know exactly what that word means. So basically, it was incredibly exciting. It was amazing. I met people that were just like me, that were like-minded, you know, and it just felt so good. We shared the same interests. We had similar behaviors. And then even images that I had seen on the internet, like some of my idols were like the artists of these images, and it was crazy just that I managed to meet them in the future and get to talk to these people. It was just so heartwarming for both of us, because they were flattered that I viewed them so highly, and I told them they had such an impact on me. And it just felt amazing for me to be able to talk to them. And I still feel that same way. And I want to be able to do that for other people. And other people have told me, my community members have told me that I've been able to do that for them. And that's one of the reasons, in addition to what I said before, why I like being so available. I'm there for people. I'm constantly there to help them. If they need a vent, if they need to talk to something, I'm there for them. Like I said, I mean, if it's more like small talk oriented things that, or if they want really strong one-on-one interaction and attention, it's harder for me because I have to pull away from everybody else just to focus on one person. That's difficult for me to do. And I know people have asked for it, and I just have to tell them so many times, sorry, I'm busy. I mean, even now I had to remove those patron tiers because I don't even have time for that. I can't. So, but I mean, sure, a friend here and there, sometimes I'll have a conversation, yeah. But it's not something I could really guarantee for a price anymore. What else? Right. I need to also mention, so people will talk about me as if I'm making a lot of money or something, and that it's not enough. I just want to make more. No, actually, I'm not doing nearly as well for myself as you think. And no, I'm not just because of the cancellation, even before the cancellation. The fact of the matter is, there are living expenses and family debts that need to be paid. And on top of that, just the streaming expenses themselves are a lot. I have to pay two, guaranteed set team members. One of them is an editor that I pay a lot for on a monthly basis. Another one's a graphic designer I pay a lot for on a monthly basis. Of course, they won't be named because I know that once they do, they'll be hunted. Because anybody who does something nice for me just becomes a target in this cancellation. It's so sad how disgusting and filthy people can be. But then there's also like several, like talking with these people here and there, buying, commissioning random things like related to my work. It's expensive. And then equipment on top of that, it's not cheap. And the thing is, like, I'm with my mom and she's not getting younger. And she's been through so much crap and she's been supporting me in this. And I don't want it to always be like that. I want to pull my weight and pay things off, and I want to be able to help her retire. I don't want to get this on too far of a tangent, but she's been through a lot of crap in her life. She's been through very, very terrible things. She's been abused by my father, by his extended family. My father, when I was young, he used religion to manipulate me and turn me against her. And I could only imagine how incredibly painful that was for her. But even though she was so mistreated and abused, she worked so hard to be able to succeed for herself so that she would free herself from their control. She didn't want to be under their control. And she succeeded with that. And she also managed, when I grew older and I saw through my dad's hogwash, through all the lies, she was able to free me from him. And you know what? In retrospect, maybe that's why I grew up as a person that questioned everything. You know, I stay objective. I look at facts. I'm not subjective. That's why I don't get fooled by cancel culture. You can't sweep me up in a bandwagon, because at a very young age, my own father manipulated me against my mother. So I learned my lesson, I guess, when I was young, to just really question everything and don't be very careful about who you trust. Very careful. But nothing would make me happier than being able to help her retire early, paying off the family debts, and her seeing me successful so she doesn't have to worry anymore. She like looks every day. She's like checking my stats. She asks me how the stream went. If it goes bad, she's sad. If it goes well, she's happy. She's like my number one cheerleader in a way. I want to make her happy. And I want her, for once in her life, to finally be able to rest and relax and be free. I don't mind working like a bee, like so hard every single day. That's fine. I love what I do. This is one of my passion. And I could work harder. Even through the cancellation, I'm more than willing to work harder. I just want her to be free. Nothing would make me happier than that. Even if I had to give up streaming and pursue some other job so that I could finally give her, so she could retire early and have peace of mind that she doesn't have to worry about me anymore, I would do it. I would. And believe me, I've considered it, and I'm thinking about it. But let's continue. Right. And then people will say I have a cult for a community because like everything has to be always about me and they can't talk about anything else. When in reality, that's completely not true. And my community knows this, which is why they don't fall for this lie. We have general channels where people can literally talk about gaming, music, memes, and like, not to mention, like I said, with those Discord streams, we're literally hanging out every day. People talk about their day. They talk about the games. They're not always talking about me. I don't even know where this came from. Oh, right, because of the focus on me thing, right? Well, I've already explained. It's not really about keeping the focus on me. It's about preventing too much focus going from someone else. And that kind of evolved over time. At first, it was like I would keep no focus on me. I was kind of, in the very beginning, I was a bit more distant, and I was just focusing on content, and people just kind of interacted. Then bad things happened. I learned from it, like, okay, when someone gets too much influence, it's like not good. So then I just kind of made it like, well, I don't really want all the focused attention to myself, but I guess just maybe it shouldn't go to someone else either. Just like keep it as a vacuum. But that just didn't work. Focus kind of has to go to someone. I realize that. And if I don't take it, it will go to someone else. So at the end of the day, it's just I take it just so that someone else can't. That's really all there is to it. Because again, as I said before, it's protection. It's prevention of evil people manipulating my viewers. And it prevents drama in the server as well. And it's been working pretty well considering that it stood up like during a cancellation. That's pretty insane. I'd say it did a pretty good job. Right. Oh, and let's emphasize the fact, by the way, that like, okay, so people talk like I have them like trapped here and like, oh, they have to like pay me or like worship me to like get my attention, when like that's not even true. Number one, let's talk about like the trap thing. How do you think these people even found my Discord server? Through what? Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I mean, what you get the ideas. The social medias. Basically through the same route that any other Discord server could be discovered as well. And these people found me through there so they could just as easily find some other Discord server, and yet they still choose to stay here. Why? Why would they still choose to stay here and be active here when they easily have the option to go anywhere else? I don't know. Maybe because they're really happy here. Maybe because I actually care about them a lot. I love them and I make them feel better. I make them smile. I make their lives and days better. Maybe because I'm nowhere near as bad of a person as you make me out to be, and I'm actually really caring and loving, and that means so much to them that they're willing to pledge like to these patron tiers to support me, and that they support me in a wide variety of other ways. Some of them even getting angry when you like tried to harass them against me, that they even increase their support to me because you attacked them, because they know that you're full of crap and they know that the truth is that I actually care for them. Maybe, just maybe. But the bottom line is, if people don't like it here, they can leave. And sure, there's many people who like come and bounce, and like that's fine. I don't care. Like I said, the rules were designed to be blunt and to really like have a very high likelihood of keeping the people out, the kind of people out that I don't really want to be here. And it's been working pretty well. Right. So, and then let's talk about, and I mean, another point I keep forgetting to mention. So, not only are they still here, so people like these drama creators or these creators in general that's created these false narratives about me, that spread these lies about me and tried to fool people against me. I mean, you did a decent job of fooling people who don't know me very well, people on the outer perimeter, you know, like people who aren't in the core community, people who are kind of on the outside that don't really talk to me that much. Maybe they just watch me on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Like, sure, you did like a half decent job at fooling them against me. You manipulated them pretty well. But you couldn't fool my core community. And my core community, I mean, those are my greatest supporters. The overwhelming, like massive majority of them, I don't know, like 95%, if not more, maybe 90 to 95%, the overwhelming majority of them stayed. Like so many of them stayed for me. And then that ticked a lot of you off. So you went so far as to harass them. It was like, oh, maybe they're just not seeing the truth. Garo's like blinding them or preventing them from seeing it. Yeah, no, dude. They get these YouTube videos recommended. Like these creators are leeching off of my name and taking advantage of my hard work. I work so hard every single day. Not just my hard work, the hard work of my team members who depend on me for a living. And they just leech off of me and my team members, our hard work, just to grow themselves. My community members see the videos, and when they do, they get angry. Like they'll reach out to me and they're like, Garo, I'm like so sorry that you're having to deal with this. Or they'll be like, you know, it's so disgusting what this person said about you. Like it's not even remotely true. Why are they saying these terrible things about you? Some people are sadly just that desperate to get views, subscribers, and ad revenue. It is really sad, and they don't care about cutting someone else down, like a fellow furry creator. They don't care about filling other people's hearts with hatred, like the furry community, to achieve that. And it's really, really sad, and it's disgusting because we're influencers. They call us influencers for a reason. We influence people. But some people, it's more important to just fill their pockets. It's funny, they project onto me so hard. They call me greedy, and yet you're the ones that are willing to completely overstep ethical and moral boundaries to cut down a fellow creator with insufficient evidence. You don't have enough evidence to prove the claims you're going for, but you exaggerate, you take things out of context, you cherry pick details and conversations to form an image that's completely false, just to line your pockets. And you don't care about puppeteering the public, manipulating them, filling their hearts with hatred, and driving the furry fandom in general to be more hateful, more drama obsessed, and just more destructive and evil and toxic, just for your own profit. Why? Why would you do that? Like, that's horrible. Is that worth it? Is that how worthless the community is to you? And it was like so, I don't know whether to cry or just laugh, but like even like the most recent example of someone who made a video against me and some other people, they literally had like a pinned comment of like their sponsorship was like Raid Shadow Legends, like just trying to get more clicks on it so they can make more money. Like, you think they really care about like education or trying to help people or raise awareness? You think they care about that? They're just taking advantage of someone they can easily bully, because that's all these people are, just bullies, putting someone else down who's an easy target. They singled someone out who's easy to bring down, put them down. And for some people, it's literally just to feel better about themselves, to put someone else down. And to others, like the creators, they're literally making money off of this and growing off of this. And it's just really sad because these actions are just creating bad habits and corrupting the community as a whole, making the fandom more drama obsessed and more hateful. It's just really sad. I hate to see this happen. And this is part of the reason why I don't want to feed the cycle. I want to break the cycle. That's why I don't want revenge. I don't want vengeance. I don't wish a cancellation on anyone else, not even the people who willingly put this against me. That is not my goal. I want the cycle to end here. I am willing to forgive. If people are willing to see the truth and are willing to make it right, I am more than willing to forgive. I don't want retaliation. I don't want revenge. I just want people to know the truth, and I want things to be made right, and then I'm more willing to move forward and move past this. And I want people to just think for themselves a bit more, question things a little bit more, to ask for evidence and look for evidence before judging someone and trying to destroy them. And why do that anyway? Is there anything constructive about that? Has there been anything constructive about this cancellation at all? Anything? I challenge you. Name me one single constructive thing that this cancellation achieved. People say, oh, he can't take constructive criticism. He can't take constructive criticism. This is destructive. Name me one thing, one constructive thing that happened as a result of this cancellation. I'll wait. And if you're going to say, oh, well, we raised more awareness to how bad of a person you are. Well, I mean, I pretty much disputed all the arguments. I'm actually not a bad person. I'm actually one of the most caring and loving people. And even if you believe that, even if you genuinely believe that after everything that I've clearly proven and shown here, even if you still genuinely believe that, I'd like to point out that I actually have more patrons now than I ever have. And part of that is because some people, sure, most people who came after me as a result of the drama were hateful and attacking, but some people came out and they actually kept an open mind. They checked me out and they realized, holy crap, this guy is actually one of the most caring, active, loving, and just available and approachable creators that they've ever met. And because of that, they support me. They'll pledge to me or support me. They'll be regulars, or maybe they'll subscribe, etc. A lot of people have done this. So I guess thank you. So I mean, no matter whether you view me bad or good, I mean, this has been destructive to what you've been trying to achieve. And that's not even including the DDoS attacks, doxing, DMCA threats, copyright infringements. And it's just really sad that, you know, I get it for the creators, you know, it's just about views, subs, ad money, whatever. And maybe some of them genuinely believed that I'm a bad person, even though they made the mistake of not really digging into this more. But there were definitely those that knew that I wasn't nearly this bad, but they just capitalized on the trend, jumped on the bandwagon, exploited the situation to put me down as much as possible, to benefit them as much as possible, to feed off of my name and my hard work and the hatred of the public, and to just cause so much damage and destruction to everyone around them just for their own benefit. It's just so sad. We're influencers. Be better. We're supposed to drive people to be better, to grow, to be stronger. I want the furry community to be known for being loving, caring, accepting. You know what would have been constructive? You want to talk about constructive? There was one person, well, specifically, I mean, my community was being incredibly supportive and helpful towards me, but someone external, a creator, in fact, props to this person who I'm not going to name because I don't want them to become a target. They were constructive. They didn't come to me condescendingly. They didn't come to me with like hate, you know, telling me everything that's wrong about me and attacking me and saying what should change or something, acting like they have me all figured out. No, they came to me and they said, you know, I've seen all this crap, you know, I don't know what's really going on, but, you know, based on what I've seen, here's what I would advise. And they gave like a bunch of like lists of points and paragraphs. And I didn't agree with everything, but there were some good points in there and I actually adopted them. And I thanked that person. We had a lengthy conversation talking about the whole thing. And if you're watching this video, I'm sure you know who you are. And thank you for that. I really appreciate that. That's constructive. It's like with actually the intention to help, not the intention to try to destroy someone, to bring them down, to ruin them as much as possible. That's destructive. And that's what this cancellation has been. And seeing how incredibly negative and destructive and evil this has been, I don't wish it on anyone, which is why I want the cycle of hatred to end right here. I'm more than willing to forgive, but people need to know the truth and things need to be made right, and then we can move forward. Right, and people accuse me of being anti-competitive, right, because I don't allow other creators in my Discord. This goes along with the rules and other things. The fact of the matter is, I'm not saying creators are bad or that I hate creators. In fact, there are creators that I look up to and I respect. Some of them I did before this drama, but unfortunately, because of things they said and did, I changed my mind about that. And it's really sad. I was very disappointed. I really saw the dark side of people, of the internet, of the world, and it was just sad. But I guess it's good because it raised awareness. It made me a lot stronger, a lot tougher, and a lot more careful. Less naive, you know? But no, I mean, I think other creators are great. Competition is great and encourages us to make our content better. But where I will not allow it is within my Discord. That's different. I don't mind other creators. Like, we can chat, and I mean, I'll wish you the best from a distance, but I don't want you in my community. Could this change in the future? Sure. I really did hope at one point that I'd be able to collab, but I first wanted to stabilize things on my own server to ensure things are secure and that I couldn't be exploited or bled out from behind, and then maybe I could look a little bit more forward. But until then, and we were actually kind of getting close to that before the drama hit. Speaking of which was kind of ironic, before the drama hit, I was actually very close to coming up with a super regular system that would loosen the rules a little bit for a smaller group of people. Call them beta testers, whatever you want to call it. Because what had happened was, because the rules were so solid and things were so stable, I was like, holy crap. Finally, it looks like I can maybe loosen things a little bit, just a little bit, test it with a small group, see how it works. If we run into issues, back up. But if it seems good, okay, maybe we can scooch a little bit more. That was the plan, and that's what we were going to do. But then the cancellation hit, and I was like, holy crap, I'm really glad that cancellation happened, because some of those people that I would have trusted as beta testers in this, they were some of the people who stabbed me in the back. It was a real eye-opener, and needless to say, I don't think I'll be coming up with a system like that anytime soon. But yeah, dude, I'm not anti-competitive, dude. I wish all the other creators the best, but just be ethical and actually care about your audience. Don't exploit them and manipulate them and try to cut down a fellow creator just to get yourself views. If anyone's anti-competitive, it's you. Trying to bring me down and feed off of my hard work and my name for your own growth. You're the ones who are anti-competitive, not me. What else? Right, just to further add to the point that these accusations are false, is the fact that people tried really hard to mass report me everywhere. Discord, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all over the place. But I'm still here. These objective platforms did not fall for your crap. I will say TikTok, for a short duration, you got a bot or whatever automated system to agree, but once a human reviewed it, it was appealed, and I was back. And here I am. On all platforms. They objectively reviewed all your overwhelming reports with everything that you said, and they decided you were wrong. You could not get me banned anywhere. So what did you do? You just went back to fooling the people. Because you don't need proof. You don't need objective facts to fool people. You just need emotions, and you just got to tell someone a lie long enough so they'll eventually believe it. It's really sad that that's the way the world works. Honestly, if enough people just said 2 + 2 = 5, people will believe 2 + 2 = 5, even though in reality 2 + 2 = 4. And it was just shocking to see that, to just watch events unfold. And that was part of the reason why I didn't talk about this for so long, because it's like, I'm seeing these disgusting lies that are being said and that people are just eating them up. They're believing it. Why is no one looking to the facts? And why is no one questioning the fact that my community is not falling for any of this because they know me for who I really am? Why are people talking like they know me when they've never even talked to me? They've never been around me. They have no idea what I am, but they talk about me like they have me all figured out. Because I started to realize for a lot of people, it wasn't about the truth. They didn't want the truth. They just wanted to hate, and they wanted to scrape the bottom of the barrel to find any justification of that hate as much as possible, which was sad, really sad. But honestly, as critical as I am of my fellow influencers, the ones who tried to cut me down and feed off of my name, there was a group of people even worse. And maybe this is a bit selfish and personal for me to say, because the influencers, of course, did the most damage. But the people who betrayed me, the people who were in my community, whether it be past moderators or just past viewers, what is wrong with you? The reason why that hurt is two things. Number one, because you know these are lies, because you were there, which is why the overwhelming majority of my core viewers and my moderators are still here, because they actually have ethical and moral standards, unlike you. You knew that these haters' accusations were lies, yet you supported them, you fed them, and you also knew how much I cared about you, how much I was always there for you, how much anytime you needed something, I would drop things to help you. Even some of you, during the cancellation, when it was fresh, and I was crushed, and I was depressed. I couldn't even put solid food in my mouth for a month. I was eating soups. I was so sick. I could barely work. And even in that state, I helped some of you when you were being attacked. And you still stabbed me in the back. And for what? At least the influencers, they get viewers, subs. They get money, ad revenue, whatever. I get it. It's a business profitable decision for them. They just didn't have the morals or ethics to reject that opportunity. But you, was I that worthless to you? You'd throw me away. For what? Just so you could victimize yourself, act like victims, or gain the attention and power because people look up to you as like an insider, so they trust what you say. People looked at what you said, and because of what you said, along with the influencers, they caused so much toxicity and evil, not just towards me, but to my team members, to my viewers. They've attacked me, boycotted me, harassed me, which also hurts the people who depend on me for a living, people who work for me. And you did all of this for what? For some attention? Or was it because since many of you were banned before this even happened, you did it because you just wanted to feel right, even though you knew you were wrong? That if the more people you could convince against me, the more people that you could get to tell you, oh, you're right, you're right, you're right, then it would just suppress your conscience deep down, make you feel like you were right even though you knew you were wrong. But that conscience is still there, and you know it is. I know it is. Not for all of you. Some of you really are that dark and twisted. But some of you aren't all that bad. And I know that conscience inside of you is bothering you. You know you messed up. It's not too late. Like I said, I'm not a hateful person. I'm not vengeful. I don't want revenge. I just want the truth to get out. And I want things to be made right. And I want people to be better overall, because this is bigger than me. This is not just about me. Everything that happened here is evil, and I don't want it happening to anyone else. I want people to be better. I want influencers to not stoop to these horribly low standards to where they're eager to cut someone else down for their own growth. And I want the general people to think for themselves a bit more, to not be so easy for these influencers to control. I want the general public to not be so hateful, to not harass others, to not be so hateful to others. Why can't we be more loving, kind, and supportive to other people? If you really thought I was bad, why didn't you try to help? Why didn't you try to advise? Why did you try to destroy? Like I said, there was nothing constructive about this. I want to read you a poem. Many people don't know this about me, but I like poetry quite a bit. I don't really read it as much as I used to, but it's just so dense and powerful. And there was one particular poem. It's called If by Rudyard Kipling. It's actually my favorite poem of all time. And no, not just because of the cancellation. Even before this, it was my favorite. But I never really understood that poem before as much as I do now. Here it is. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch. If neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much. If you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and, which is more, you'll be a man, my son. That's very powerful. And that's also very hard. If, that's a lot of ifs to meet. But it's something to aim for, something to aspire to. And now I can relate to a lot more of it, to this than I ever could before. If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools. Wow. That's really powerful. I have to say, when this cancellation first hit, and this is part of the reason why it took me so long to respond to this, it really was emotionally crushing for me. It hurt seeing people say these things about me. Honestly, if this had happened to someone just a little bit weaker, or if maybe I had just a little less support from my community, I really think that person would have cracked and ended their own life. You don't know how emotionally scarring and damaging a cancellation is, especially when it's not true. when people accuse me of things that I didn't do. It really hurts. And then, sure, you know, if there's the people that are just hopelessly, I don't want to say hopelessly, but just extremely hateful to where, like, even if this cancellation didn't happen, they'd probably be hating me for something else. I mean, there's always like the ew furry or furry comment. I mean, whatever, right? But me being attacked by my own people, like fellow furries, and some of them like seem like decent people, but they're just swayed. They're just fooled by this. And it's just sad because I feel that if there weren't these lies being spread around, we could have actually been good friends, because you would have actually given me a chance and seen that I'm a really, caring and loving person. Look, no hard feelings, okay? I know that people are going to listen to this, and sure, there's gonna be a fraction that are just determined to hate me no matter what. Go ahead. I mean, all power to you, man. It's your life. Make your decisions, live with the consequences. Obviously, the creators, I mean, I would like to believe that they will have a change of heart, that they'll care about their community, they'll realize what went wrong here, but I also understand that they have a motive to put me down as much as possible for two reasons now. One, the same as before, to get as many views, subs, ad revenue, etc., as much exposure, clout, growth as possible at my expense. But now they're also probably going to be afraid, because if people realize the truth and realize that they've been lied to and that they were attacking someone who's actually a lot more kind, caring, and loving than they were told, they're going to be angry. And I mean, I didn't give names because I really am trying to prevent cancellation towards these individuals. Like I said, I don't want revenge. But I mean, no matter what I say, some backlash is inevitable. But I would like to minimize it as much as possible, as long as these people are willing to make things right. But we'll see what happens. And then there's going to be a portion of people who watch this who are probably like, holy crap. That's crazy. He's actually not nearly as bad as like so many people on the internet were saying. And like I said, I'm willing to forgive. If you attacked me, I mean, I can't speak for my viewers. That's their decision to make. But if you attacked me, harassed me, were toxic to me, even if you DDoSed me, doxed me, I'm willing to forgive. I don't want revenge. Just please be better. I forgive you. If you genuinely regret what you've done, I am more than willing to walk away from this and move forward, despite the damage, despite losing so much momentum from my growth that I used to have, despite being set back for so long, and despite me for like just having more trouble in general and just all the emotional harm that was caused to me. I'm willing to forgive. I'm more than willing to do that. I want to end the cycle of hatred here. The question is, do you want to keep dragging this out? Do you want to keep attacking, harassing? If you want to keep doing it, then all I ask is, please only do it to me. Leave my viewers out of this. Leave my viewers out of this. If this really is some kind of punishment, or if this really is, I don't know, some kind of whatever this is, whatever you have as a justification for this in your mind, and genuinely ask yourself why you're doing this. Like, just have a bit of a thought process and try to ask yourself, why are you doing this? Like, just think. Don't just jump on a bandwagon or just do something because someone else is doing this or because someone else told you to do this. Like, ask yourself, like, why are you doing this? Start thinking for yourselves. It's just a healthy exercise, not just for this, but in general. Be in control of yourself. Don't let someone else control you. It's funny, they accuse me of controlling my viewers, but in reality, so much of the internet was controlled by these lies that were pushed out by people that profited off of it. Some in terms of views, subs, ad revenue, but some literally just in terms of clout and attention. That's all they wanted. People will sell their morals and ethics for so cheap. It's really sad. But you know, what I am proud to say is across this entire year, other than that statement video where I was very respectful, but I was so emotionally crushed. It was really hard for me to put that together. I was not myself. But now I am. I've become much stronger, much more resilient. I've grown a lot. And no, not grown as in like, oh, the cancellation made him a better person. He was terrible for it. No, I'm just as nice of a person as I always was. But I've gotten thicker skin. And I don't let people's words get to me as much anymore. But I still care. You know, it would have been so easy for me to walk away. Like I said, I have an MS Finance. I could have gone back and just walked away from this. It's like, why would I do it? Why would I stay in this? Why should I pour my blood, sweat, and tears? I work so hard every single day. My community knows. They see me there day and night working constantly. Why should I work so hard every single day for people that are just so eager to backstab me and turn their back on me? But that's not true. Not everybody did. My community, so much of my community, my core community was there for me because they're like, no, Garo, We're not falling for these lies. We know you're better than that. You've been there for us, and we're going to be there for you. And that's priceless. If not for my community, I probably would have walked away. They're the only reason why I'm still here. So every single one of you who's written a supportive comment, no matter how small. I mean, on YouTube, and just to further add to the narcissist thing, why would I reply to everybody's comment on YouTube if I was so self-obsessed? I care. Those comments where people write, oh my gosh, my favorite YouTuber responded to me, or they're like so excited. I love seeing comments. I love reading them, replying to them. I used to do it more, but it just got harder. I used to respond to all TikTok comments. Now that's literally impossible. How many comments does that Where's My Cookie clip have? I think it has like tens of thousands. Like I literally cannot. I had to stop with TikTok, but YouTube, I still respond to all comments. Maybe eventually I'll have to stop with that too when things get large enough. But like I care. I love the interaction. I love the engagement. It's the best part of the job. But yeah, I just want all of you to know, those of you who've written those kind, supportive, positive comments, I want you to know you've motivated me more than you realize, and thank you. No matter who you are, how small you think you are, I want you to know that your words mean more to me. I'm not some kind of giant God thing that just doesn't care. I care so much. I'm a person. At the end of the day, I'm a human just like you. No, I'm a dragon, not a human. I'm a person just like you with feelings, needs, desires, dreams, ambitions, just like you. And I want you to know that your support, no matter how small, means the world to me. Thank you for that. Genuinely, thank you. And to my haters, I want you to know that your hateful comments actually motivated me a lot. At first they hurt, but now they motivate me, because now it just drove me to work harder. The more damage that was dealt to me, the more I was determined to work harder. And hey, like I said, my top priority is getting my mom to be able to retire and be at peace as soon as possible. And if that's not going to happen through content creation, I'm okay with that. I'm more than okay to walk away to something that's more worth my time if this doesn't really pay off ultimately, because that's just the responsible thing to do. That's the world we live in. Bills are bills, and I'm going to do what must be done so that my mother can finally be free. And I would like to hopefully find something that my team members can do so they can still make a living without me, if that were to end up happening, because I care about them. The thing is, when my income took a hit as a result of this cancellation, initially, it got better later, but initially I took a hit. I did not cut their salaries in any way. I kept them the exact same, because I wanted to shoulder all of the burden. I didn't want them to take a hit because of this cancellation, even though it wasn't, I didn't ask for this. I didn't want this cancellation. I didn't want them to suffer because of it. In fact, one of them I even gave a raise to. Actually, no, both of them I gave raises to. One was a direct raise and the other more indirect. But yeah, I gave raises to both of them. But in no way, shape, or form did I cut their what they earned in any way. I just shouldered the damage alone. I took it alone. What a mess this has been. And, when people will come to me and they say, oh, go get help, you need help. I mean, you think? It's like you stab me in the back with a knife and I'm bleeding out. And you're like, oh, go to a doctor. You need a doctor. Like, oh, of course I do. How about you just stop stabbing me? Like, yeah, you think I'm going to be very trusting towards the public now? Like, you think I'm going to... Yeah, it hurts, It really hurts, and it does its damage. I do have scars, for sure, but I've come out of it stronger and smarter. But anyways, there is unfortunately one name that I feel I am going to have to mention in this. And I do it in a professional way and with no desire for revenge, but it's because something needs to happen. BetaEtaDelota. You're one of the largest furry YouTubers now, and I congratulate you on your success. You've done well for yourself. I mean, I haven't really studied you. I haven't watched a lot of videos. I don't know what exactly you produce in general, but you've been successful. Congratulations. You made a video very early on in the drama about me, and you titled it "The Worst Furry Streamer Ever." I think we should have a talk. You and me will both be live. We'll bring our audiences. Let's have a talk, and let's just, iron out the details, discuss the truth. If I really am the worst furry streamer ever, then it should be easy for you to destroy me and expose me and show the world how much of a terrible person I am, right? So, my Twitter DMs with you are open, my friend. Send me a DM, give me a day and time, and we'll talk live. I'll be waiting.